opportunity to be able to talk to you about Somak, who you may or may not have heard of. We have been working over 50 years now. 1968 was our initiation, if you like. What was quite nice was the story is the background. The father of the company has been working for us from 1968, as I said, and he effectively started this program in taking children from Nairobi to the UK who were working or were school students, and what they did was they created what they called the lollipop flights. So it started as a charter and then has now become, 50 years later, a very distinctive holiday company. So I will just go through a few slides for you and just give you an idea of how it's worked. So family owned, as I said, and we've been, as I say, working in, I know you wanted me to focus on Africa, but we also do have an India product as well. But our main focus is on Africa, and particularly Kenya, which is where we started, Tanzania. Obviously, we've got the safari products, and also we've got the beach products as well for Mombasa, for Zanzibar, and then other opportunities as well if people want to do extensions down to Mauritius or Seychelles, then we have those options too. We also have 3 of our own lodges, so one of which is in the Masai Mara, very topical at the moment, bearing in mind the Great Migration which is going on, which I'll mention in a second, and also in Samburu and Arusha, so which is very easy for customers who want to maybe do a beach holiday but want to do a day or two in to have some safari when they're doing that as well. So here's a little mention of our team. So Sanjay is our operations director. He's the guy that looks after all our flights. Parita is our commercial manager. You'll see the ugly guy on the right is me. Nishma has worked for the company for 23 years. All these guys have been with us for a very, very long time, and I'm sure some of you will know the names. So Nishma, Amanda, Mita have been with us a long time. Mita only joined us last year, but she has got a lot of experience. So what we do, so the thing is, customers come sometimes with a certain budget, as we know, and they say, well, I don't know what I want to do. But the great thing is that if they want to do a set safari or a tailor-made safari with whatever the budget they've got, they can do that. So the main destinations we feature, Kenya, Tanzania, so you'll see on the map in a second, and the beach combinations that we do. So this is what we do. So East and Southern Africa. Ethiopia is one of our new ones, and in fact we've got a little mini brochure coming out in the next couple of weeks, and we will send it to all of you guys if you're on BP's mailing list for a single copy, then you will get one. Otherwise, please do email me. The great thing about Africa is obviously no major issues in terms of when you're flying. So you can go, it's literally 3 hours is the maximum in terms of jet lag. So we fly British Airways, Kenya Airways, and say various other ones, and say the new one that we're going to be focusing on is Ethiopian. And there's some really, really good offers to be had from all around the country. There are great regional connections it can do. That just gives you an idea of some of the things that we can do. One of the really nice things is that we have our Safari Lounge. It's a lovely thing when you've just arrived in Nairobi, you're feeling maybe hot or you're feeling tired or whatever. So this is where we launch our vehicles from, and you can have the opportunity of your customers can sit here. There's a free Wi-Fi, there's showers. So literally you've got off your flight and you can enjoy that. So it's a nice thing you do before you go off. You meet your safari guide here, and obviously then you go off from here if you're doing one of the set safaris. So this is one of our typical safari vehicles, Toyota Land Cruisers. We've just got another 10 which have just been launched 2 weeks ago. You can see they're 6-seaters, so everyone has a window seat. You've got the hatch, obviously, which provides for safari viewing. You also have the opportunity to charge your phones or whatever with chargers, and then you also have your Wi-Fi as well on board. It's great to see how close you can get to the animals, the little cheetahs in front there. Again, our driver guides are multilingual. So again, if you've got customers who are particularly, may have, we have French speakers, we have Japanese speakers, we have Chinese speakers, we have everyone that you could potentially think of. And also we have driver guides who are particularly good on certain aspects of your safari. So if you've got customers who want to do a birding safari, for instance, then just mention it to us and we will get those guides assigned to your customers. We have flying doctors cover, so that's one of the other things which is good to know, that that's provided for your customers. So you've got the differences of doing a driving safari or a flying safari, and there is a big difference because these little Dash 8s do very well, taking people from the Mara back to Nairobi, perhaps after a cheetah safari. It's about an hour's flight. If you're doing it by road, it's about 5.5 hours normally with the Nairobi traffic, so that's something to bear in mind. So if your customers have got a little bit more budget, I would definitely suggest that even if they do it on the back of their safari, they don't have to do it all the way through, but it's definitely worthwhile. Nairobi, we've never really pushed Nairobi a lot, but we should do more. The problem was that last year, of course, Giraffe Manor got pictured on one of the TV programs as the best hotels of the world, and people would love to do this. But you can do it a shorter version, if you like, without having to stay there, because they don't have very many rooms. So I think we're already booked up for 2019, but there is an excursion which I'll show you in a minute, which is an opportunity for customers to be able to do for like $20, and you can literally feed the giraffes. It's a lovely experience. So The Sheldrake experience again is one of the ones that we really love to promote. Obviously, it's been very sad that after David Sheldrake died some years ago, Daphne Sheldrake died earlier this year. But it's one of the loveliest experiences that you can ever do. And I'll say between 11 and 12 every day, you can go and see these orphaned elephants being fed. They do a milking, and they will walk around the perimeter of where you're standing, and you have the chance to give them a little pat. Or it's as I say, it's a beautiful experience. Some of the other ones, obviously, you've got the Karen Blixen Museum, you've got Kazuri, which is where they make all the beads. Again, I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. The Masai Mara is pretty much everyone's Kenya absolute, it should be on everyone's bucket list. Not everyone wants to see what happens when it's almost like 2 million wildebeest and probably about 800,000 zebra cross the Mara River. Obviously, people are a little bit worried that they're going to see the crocodiles come, and the crocodiles on time. So it's one of those things that is I want to see it, but I don't want to see it. But it's this time of year. It's July, August. This is happening now, and I should be able to. If you look on our website, you will see that there are pictures from our driver guides, which are showing some of these images from this week. But yeah, it's a lovely thing, but it's a difficult thing as well. Just give you an idea. So obviously literally the top bit is the only bit in Kenya. So the Masai Mara, say July, August, September is the bit in Kenya. I was in the Serengeti in April, and again saw an absolutely amazing picture of the wildebeest and they were literally running, and it actually looked like you were at Ascot. It looked like a horse event. It was absolutely incredible. But so yeah, July, August, September. The thing is, as I say, if you're looking for customers who want to do the migration, you should be booking it now. So for July, August 19, you definitely need to be booking it now. Various little experiences that we do. So we've got if you're staying in the Mara, then you'll have the hippo pool breakfast. Naivasha, we do that great little lake ride, and if you've got customers who want to do it, then you can go on to Crescent Island as well. You can walk around Crescent Island. No predatory animals, but you'll be surrounded by zebra and giraffe, who were all actually brought in for the filming of Out of Africa back in 1985. But the fact they're non-predatory, they've all stayed there. Say other things you can do: walking safaris, village visits. So there's lots of stuff that you're able to do. The balloon safari is something that I think is really nice too. I will show you a quick moment of that in a moment. The great thing is that you have your balloon breakfast, and then you have a little bush breakfast. Tanzania, again, we've got lots of options there, as I say, including the Serengeti, going down to the Ngorongoro Crater. It's an absolutely beautiful country, probably seen as a little bit more expensive than Kenya, so it's just one of the options we've got. But the great thing is, if you've got customers going to Tanzania, the beach extension to the Indian Ocean mean Zanzibar, and that is just absolutely gorgeous. The thing is, if you've got customers who might be looking at doing Kenya and Zanzibar, then of course they're looking at 2 visas, and you're looking about $50 each. So just to let you know on that. That gives you a bit of an idea of what the Serengeti looks like. It's amazing during this time of year. So just to recount that we can do all of those options if people are looking for doing an Indian Ocean add-on. Rwanda and Uganda, you're getting more and more interest from those. Look at that. Can't beat that, can you? The this is from a chimp safari. The you obviously you can't guarantee seeing the apes, but on these safaris, it's definitely an interesting one to see what the Rwanda and Uganda options have, because Rwanda has suddenly increased their price, and Uganda is a little bit cheaper. So you're looking at doing Rwanda, I think you're now looking at $1,500 for the daily the daily permit. Uganda, I think, is still around $500. So it's made a lot of people think about what they want to do in terms of where they're heading, but they just combine so well with other African products. Talking about other African products, South Africa. I won't deny it's my favourite. Cape Town is my favourite destination, and if you haven't been, you should have been. Great, as I say, all-round destination. East Coast, Durban is absolutely perfect this time of year. We look and we see actually the temperatures in Cape Town about 16, 18, 20 degrees now. So it is still all-round destination, and it just combines so well with many, many things. Other opportunities, as I say, self-drive. People get very nervous about South Africa from a security point of view. I have never felt I've taken wrong turns. I've gone into somewhere I shouldn't have gone, turned the car around, and had absolutely no issues at all. It's very, very easy to drive in South Africa, particularly if you've got customers who are interested in doing the garden route. I wouldn't put them on a tour. I'd get them to do a self-drive, and then they can spend as much time as they want to. They can go, obviously, they can do an Eastern Cape safari, they can go to Knysna, George, Wilderness, and then into the winelands, and then they get into Cape Town. And people talk to me and say, we've got customers, they want to do a Cape Town winelands tour, but they also want to do a bit of garden route, and they say, so shall we send them to Cape Town? I always say, do it the other way around. Do 2 or 3 nights in the Eastern Cape. And the great thing about Eastern Cape, of course, is that it's malaria free. So if you've got people traveling with children or people traveling who've got medical health issues, then definitely go for Eastern Cape. Start there, fly to Port Elizabeth, and then make that route along. It's about 600 miles, but then they can take it up for the number of days that they want to do. And then Cape Town obviously is the great thing that they find in the background. One of the other options, of course, is the luxury chain. If people want to go to Johannesburg, then obviously they've got the opportunity of doing the Rovers Rail or the Blues Train. It's typically around £700–800 for a cabin for the night, so just gives a bit of an idea. The trains are changing their timetables for 2019, so let us know if there's anything that is of interest for you there. As I say, Cape Town itself, my main love, and on the left, obviously, you see the beautiful Table Mountain. I'm sure a lot of you have probably experienced it, and if you have customers who've got a plan in place, this is why doing the self-drive works really well. We do some itineraries which give you 3 nights in Cape Town. I think 3 nights is never enough. I would do at least a week or so. But if you have customers who have got that, budget or the short time area, then get them to do a mix of itineraries, a mix of excursions, but tell them that they tell them that they should take off whatever experience they were doing that day, because if you don't see Table Mountain looking like that, then you can be lost 5, 6, 7 days where you can't go up the mountain on the cable car. So it's very important that customers are flexible in terms of what they want to do during that day, because they want to see it, they want to go up it, but sometimes you can get, when the tablecloth comes over, the wind comes over, and you don't get the experience of it. Then on the right, you'll see obviously the waterfront, great for shopping, great for food, great for all the other opportunities that you've got there. And then down the bottom, the peninsula route. So everyone wants to go down to Boulders Bay and see the penguins. You can also go down to Cape Point, which is one of the itineraries we do, and you will see the 2 oceans merge, where you see the Indian Ocean and the African Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean merge. It's a beautiful experience. But the penguins is a big shout. So Zim and Zam, obviously we're seeing quite a lot of interest in Zimbabwe coming back now, since Mugabe is no longer there, and we're looking forward to hopefully good elections in the next week or so. Lots of activities, you can do them or you don't do them. So you just go and look at the falls if you want to. Otherwise you can there's obviously the helicopter ride, there's the zip line over the Zambezi. Then we move into Botswana. Again, the nice thing about Botswana, a little more expensive, but the great thing about it is it just offers more safari on water. So you can do some of these activities, particularly you see on the bottom left-hand corner there. And on the top right-hand corner, no, the elephant isn't on top of the bay. But Botswana is superb for elephant. Namibia, I would say more a sightseeing kind of destination, not a huge amount of game to be seen. So it's one of the ones that people like to do for that, for example. So you can see the absolutely fantastic sand dunes at Sossusvlei. So we're just trying to mention that if you've got customers looking for one thing, then maybe they might be looking for 2 or 3 things. So you can actually tie in all these things. We work obviously closely with Kenya Airways, who have the tie-in with KLM. So if you've got customers in your area who don't mind doing a little detour via Amsterdam, then obviously that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes a lot of people don't want to go via London. So just a few little wildlife shots. One of the things that really surprised me, I'm not a birder, but when I went to Kenya for my first time, I was absolutely amazed at the bird life. It was incredible. Eagles and flamingos. It's just absolutely amazing. There are normally about 600 resident species in Kenya, so you really can, if you've got customers who are interested in the bird life, then it's a great destination for them to look at next. I'm mainly talking about Africa. I'll just quickly mention, obviously, that we have our India program. Again, I've got brochures for those, so you just let me know if you'd like one of those. But again, obviously, the Indians have their great program, and also, of course, their beautiful beaches. The Oberoids. Those are our two main brochures. The main Africa brochure is going to be printed in the next couple of weeks, so you will have those in September. But just let me know again if you haven't got them. We, as I say, we normally send them through via BP or via travel bulletins, so you should normally get those. Go onto our website. You should be able to jump in and see all the information which is there. Just an idea of the things that we can do. We had then a couple of guys doing our fam trips in Kenya. One of the lovely things you can do, as I say, is that elephant orphanage. See the little orphan elephants getting milk. Sometimes they help themselves. They bring the drivers bring the milk bottles out in a little wheelbarrow, and sometime when their back is turned, you see these guys just helping themselves. They use the trunk and just help themselves. It's a lovely experience. Then Ocean Soul, this is a nice little thing that they do. There's so many used flip-flops found on Kenyan beaches. So what they do is they bring them all together and they actually make these beautiful, beautiful animals and examples out of that. So Carnivore, that's a lovely meat restaurant. This is again we do some school visits, we do some orphanage visits in India as well. So again, they're nice things that customers want to do. So that's one of the other opportunities which is there for them. Just to give you an idea, 2015 was a great year for us, so let's hope we can get back on a similar scale. And if there's anything I can do to help you with that, then please let me know.
Brilliant. Thank you, Justin. That was really, really informative. We have got a question from Paul. Do you want to take yourself off mute, Paul, and ask?
Yeah, just done it. Yeah, hi, Justin. You were talking about the gorilla trekking,
Yep.
and of course it's not guaranteed that you will actually get a sighting. But someone who's done 5 tiger safaris and never seen a tiger, do you know the percentage chances of actually getting a sighting when you go on one of the treks?
I don't know of anyone who hasn't. I've heard of a lot of people who've done tiger safaris and haven't.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, and 5 times. I'm sorry to hear
5
you.
times. I was Rathman bore in case he was wondering where it was.
Yeah. we've got a fam trip going there in September, and I'm dreading the fact that they come. They've done the trip and haven't seen it. The thing is that obviously on a gorilla trekking, you're typically going 3 hours or so trekking, but pretty much it's I can't say for sure, but I'd say about 95%.
Okay.
It's very, very high because the tigers are more difficult to find because of course they hide, but the gorillas tend to just sit under the same trees, so the guides know pretty much where to find them.
Okay, so the message to a customer is, whilst it's not guaranteed, you can consider yourself unlucky if you don't get to see one.
Totally.
All right, brilliant. Thanks.
Very, very unlucky if you don't see them.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Okay, thank you, Paul. Anyone got any more questions? No? Okay, well, again, thanks, Justin, and thank you guys for joining. This will be recorded and popped onto YouTube and to Tavern, and have a great rest of the day. Thanks, Justin. Bye, guys.
If you need anything else, give us a shout, yeah?
Yes, thank you, Justin.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.